And then I'll go through the little spiel. I recommend muting YouTube if you have YouTube open, because otherwise you'll hear yourself. Just infuriating. Hey guys, welcome to the Startup Tank. I hope you had an awesome wrap up of the holidays and the new year, but we are back. I'm your host, Matt Ward with Forward VC and Climate Techies. If this is your new or if this is your first time attending, welcome, the Startup Tank. We're Shark Tank or Dragon's Den for climate companies. We do this the first Monday of every month, except for, well, this month because no one wants to show up on New Year's Day. You probably had a little bit too much fun. And I know the founders that we've had here have certainly been grinding. So excited to have everybody here today. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to hit the babbling through the words. Hit the subscribe bell on YouTube. You know what to do. If you haven't checked out Climate Techies and what we're doing, we've built the largest local to global climate community in the world. We have local meetups in 34 cities every 1 to 3 months, online sector networking calls, hundreds of thousands of free perks, climate VC and climate solutions databases, online networking, and more for folks and members. If you want to check it out, learn more details, climatetechies.com. If you want to apply for an upcoming session of the Startup Tank, it's just thestartuptank.com. And how does today's show work? Well, we had 2 investors drop out last minute because of family health crises, and I'm not sure if the other one's coming, so I may be your only panelist here. If so, I will do my best to make this as helpful as possible for you and everybody who's tuning into the event. The companies will each get 5 minutes to present. We might be a little bit lenient on the pitching time because we don't have the other panelists, so you'll have to settle with my remarks, retorts, and input into the business model. At the end of the night, we'll choose a startup of the night based off of both listeners, viewers, and their responses, as well as which company we think is the best or the most promising, either for fund, investor, or our accelerator. Speaking of, we run our partner in Climate Accelerator. We help 1 to 2 companies a month, no big batches. We go really hands-on with business development, growth, scaling, networking, partnerships through Climate Techies and what we've built as probably the largest local to global climate community in the world. Anyways, that's more than enough about us. If you want to find our climate VC database, solutions database, or access all of our networking events, just go to climatetechies.com. And now that's more than enough from me. Let's kick things off with our startups tonight. Murat, I think you said you needed to go first. Was that right?
No, I wasn't, but I can.
No.
Yeah.
It's been a bender, guys. All right. Doug with Zero Labs. You want to share what you guys are doing? Get ready to roll.
Sure, I will share my screen.
And just let me know when you're ready. Apologize for being a little rusty on my side, and you'll have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay, take it away.
All right, well, hello everyone. Doug Miller from Zero Labs. I'm a co-founder based in Washington, D.C. We at Zero Labs provide digital renewable energy as a service. We make it really easy for companies to procure renewables and prove their procurement for diverse reporting and marketing needs. I'm now going to dive into a little bit about why and what we do, starting with a few things that we know. So first, we know that energy is the biggest problem in climate action. We need to decarbonize our grid. We also know that renewable energy markets are large. They're a multi-billion market right now, and they are vastly growing to become an even larger market by the end of this decade, reaching what's expected to be a 100 billion plus market with current trajectories. We also know that scope 3 emissions, meaning the emissions from your value chains, both upstream and downstream, is the invisible footprint, the one that companies are trying to make sense of, and that provide a even larger opportunity for reducing emissions across corporate value chains. We also know that scope 3 provides the potential for revenues exceeding the $1 billion mark. So we at Zero Labs are prioritizing scope 3 electricity use, meaning the electricity use of value chain partners, as the elephant in the room opportunity for not just making a dent in scaling demand for renewables, but also helping companies achieve their scope 3 goals. We also know climate action is hard. It's hard to make sense of what to do and when and how. We also know regulation is not only coming, but it's now here between the European Union, California, potentially at the US level, and other jurisdictions around the globe. This is where Zero Labs comes in with a digital renewable energy as a service solution to make it super easy for anybody to procure renewable energy and prove it. We simply do this by digitizing renewable energy and putting it converting it into programmable building blocks that you can then embed into your products, services, value chains, and so on. We essentially help companies that are already in this, already taking action to reduce their emissions to go further faster. And we help introduce new companies who haven't yet taken action by making action easier. Over time, our goal is to also create a fund for renewable energy projects. We target a set of specific industries ranging from cloud services to property managers to streaming and electric mobility, ones that have either vast competition or a strong reason to tackle Scope 2 and Scope 3 emission reductions. We have a diverse team. I'm the only native English speaker. We are distributed across countries between the European Union and North America. Now, just briefly into our products. Essentially, as I mentioned before, we provide radically accessible, transparent tools digitizing renewable energy to make it super easy to harmonize your clean energy procurement and prove it for diverse reporting and communication needs. We provide a tool to digitize renewable energy from diverse renewable energy sources, whether bundled or unbundled contracts, and allocate them to any end use downstream. And we make essentially value chain decarbonization, both for your suppliers and your customers, super easy, and be able to report the progress and get that master view that you need. Here's an example diving into manufacturing, where maybe you, as a company, you have sites across the globe, you have different suppliers and so on. You can procure renewable energy and allocate it to not just your different facilities, but also the end use, the use of your product to help reduce those Scope 3 emissions. Underneath the hood, at the end of the day, we generate what are called green proofs, which is a harmonized digital receipt showcasing the allocation of renewable energy to a specific facility or user or whatever end use you need. These have both an impact view or communication side, as well as a verification side, which is the data that connects with any renewable energy tracking system across the globe with a bidirectional audit trail that leverages public blockchain technology. And this makes it really easy to comply with standards, be transparent, and provide continuous communication and engagement of your customers, stakeholders, investors, and so on. Zooming out, we provide tools across the entire renewable energy procurement life cycle, from procurement to management, allocations to communications reporting.
1 minute warning.
Thank you. In terms of progress to date, we've delivered over 200,000 megawatt hours of clean energy across the globe, over 2,000 buyers, and with various case studies ranging from museums and property rentals to decentralized cloud storage providers to major industry events and hotel stays for businesses to even crypto bros. And our sweet spot essentially is those companies who want to automate their clean energy procurement, both small and large companies. We've won several awards, Money 2020, Blockchance organized by PwC. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to hearing from you about any interest about how we can make renewable energy procurement easy and the proof easy so that we can scale investment in decarbonizing our grid. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for presenting. It seems really interesting. Let me bring myself and Gabriel back into the mix. Before we jump into questions, a quick overview from Gabriel. Gabriel's with Powerhouse Ventures. You want to say a few words, Gabriel?
Not with Powerhouse Ventures, actually. I'm with Elemental Accelerator.
No, Elemental. Sorry, other Gabriel.
It's all good.
What's on your what's on your head? Are you okay?
It's a bandage, yeah. Just got a cut. Yeah. But yeah, Elemental, we're a nonprofit climate tech accelerator and funder. We've been around for about 14 years, done about 160 something investments. We invest at various stages, but two different check sizes, $350K and $1 million, designed to de-risk a first of its kind project on that $1 million side of things. So yeah, happy to be here. And in terms of my role there, I lead mobility, energy, and built environment for Elemental.
And super excited to have you on board. I hope you saw the pitch. Doug, first question I had really quickly is, why build this on blockchain? There's been so many players in the space. There's a lot of blockchain hype.
Sure. So this is a product of about almost 4 years of R&D. So our work spun out of the nonprofit called Energy Web, which developed the world's first public blockchain for the energy sector. And essentially, as you probably know, the sector was, or this technology was a hammer looking for a nail. And maybe in part benefit because we worked at a nonprofit during our R&D journey, we actually found the nail. And so we use the technology specifically in one scenario, which is the bridge between the renewable energy tracking systems, which are outdated, not user-friendly, administratively costly, and fractionalizing the digital purchases of renewable energy for right-sized delivery to any end use. In other words, if Zoom at the end of this call wants to show that your individual use of Zoom is renewably powered, we can help them show that you own a unique slice of a larger purchase for this 2-hour long call based on your laptop's electricity use. So that level of precision, we think, is too difficult for the current tracking systems to provide a solution for. And so our use of blockchain is just to show that everybody knows that needs to know you own this tiny slice of a larger renewable energy purchase. And so it's providing that knowledge about the current state of the world. But the thing to note as well is that there is no secondary market. It's not a tradable token. It's just a delivery mechanism.
So jumping on that a little bit, I'm curious. I get the fractionalizable piece of it, fractionalizable, which is similar in some ways to a Robinhood or Stash or something like that, right? In terms of fractionalization of a product that you can acquire. I think to dive a little harder into the question that Matt asked is blockchain 2-3 years ago, Web3 was the buzzy word that anybody and everybody put in their desks. How do you build credibility? How do you build confidence that this is a legit utilization of a legit technology when that market arguably has fallen hard? Which is not, I'm not saying it's not a real thing. I'm asking how do you build that with your customer base?
No, I actually was debating even mentioning the word one time during the presentation, but the main point is that in any tech cycle, there is a period of hype and then you have actual use. We found an opportunity for using it because it's unclear what other technology could deliver this more effectively in terms of providing the audit trail. And so from our perspective, this technology is very helpful because right now, in the example I mentioned for Zoom, if Zoom wanted to guarantee that your downstream use of Zoom products or services is renewably powered, there isn't a really easy way to bridge from the tracking system to give the actual evidence that you as a corporate customer or business customer of Zoom's can show that you've reduced your scope 3 emissions from Zoom use. But with this technology, it provides a unique identifier showing the property right that you have as part of a larger clean energy purchase and show that you are the sole owner of that slice of the larger order. And that's the only use of the technology, is just to deliver. There's no secondary market or other trading that goes on. It actually cannot be traded onward as part of the point. And then the idea too is we provide the information in the renewable energy tracking systems that are run by quasi-government entities, saying, here's how we digitize it, here's the protocol, here's the beginning of the digitization audit trail. Then it goes, that's the beginning of all of the green proofs from that particular order. And then each individual green proof has you have the ability to work backward to the same renewable energy certificate order in the tracking system. So we have what we call a bidirectional audit trail. And that's the only reason we use the technology, is for that main purpose.
Who's your main customer then?
I'm sorry?
Who's your main customer then?
Our largest customer today was a decentralized cloud storage provider called Filecoin. So we worked with, so essentially cloud providers dispersed across the globe, ranging from needing a couple of megawatt hours of clean electricity to several thousand. We serve as an aggregator, so we can operate as a bulk buyer where needed, and that's part of our business model. We bulk buy renewables, digitize them, fractionalize, deliver the right size, and then each buyer at the end of the day gets a green proof to stand behind the public claim that they're making. They did in fact do the thing they said they did. And to date, we've focused on renewable energy. This technology is modular and can be applied to any of these emerging new environmental attribute certificates that are, whether it's SAFs, clean hydrogen, et cetera.
Why sell to cloud hosting as opposed to going directly to the renewable energy companies and being able to let them vet their energy sources to their customers?
Well, there already is a system. So there is a system of certifying renewable energy generation, and there's a whole market for trading. But right now, the ability for any company to purchase renewable energy is not streamlined. You have to hire a third party, and the third parties only want to work with large corporate buyers, the likes of Amazon, Google, Meta, et cetera. They don't want to talk with one person who runs one little facility in a particular country. And so we solve that one. That's one of the problems we solve, is this aggregation feature. And then the other is the digitization, fractionalization, and right size delivery, where at the end of the day, they get this elegant looking proof where if you're a corporation with operations in 20 countries, one problem we also solve is you have a singular receipt articulating the renewable energy purchases you made in all of those countries. It's in the same format, the same structure. You can then export the data in a consistent way for any of your reporting or disclosure needs. And that becomes even more important as we start looking at scope 3 emission reductions, where you have hundreds or thousands of suppliers and downstream users that you want to show you're linking that to renewable energy purchases to show that you have in fact reduced that source of scope 3 emissions.
You probably touched on this, and I may have missed it, my Zoom crashed, but it sounds like your TAM is really small, mid-size companies all over the world. Is that a roughly accurate statement as opposed to the Metas and Googles and whatever's?
It's both. So on one end, it's for the Metas and Googles and Amazons, it's their supplier and user networks. It's their scope 3, which is the SME scope 2. So we're tackling both sides because in some cases, the SMEs want to move first because they want to differentiate among their customers. But on the other side, these larger corporates are setting new scope 3 engagement goals and related platforms. So we're part of the conversations with firms, with these types of companies to help them actually engage with their suppliers and their users so that they can make it easier for their value chain partners to either achieve their own respective renewable energy goal. So we expect that corporates aren't going to pay for their suppliers to go green, but they may be willing to pay for their customers depending on the case. It might be that, you keep going back to this example because it's relevant, Zoom might pay for folks to have guaranteed renewable energy Zooming, or they might offer that for certain business customers as part of the package, but they're not going to pay for their suppliers to buy renewables. And so we're designing our product based on those kind of practical business scenarios because they want you to use Zoom, not WebEx or Google Meet. So yeah, imagine at the end of this call, there's a QR code. You can scan it. You can show that your laptop use, and for me, DC or wherever you are around the world, is linked to a regional renewable energy purchase.
Do you think they care?
So on one end, yes, because companies have to now they are setting scope 3 strategies as part of their science-based targets. They also are using scope 3 to further differentiate. There's competition among sustainability professionals. And then lastly, regulation requires them to disclose their scope 3. So, I mean, if companies want to show that they're making progress in their public disclosures, then they have to use the available tools and solutions to start reducing their emissions. And of course, right now we're primarily focused on one type of emission, which is your electricity use. And then over time, we could expand into other areas where it's relevant. And one other thought is that, I mean, there on one end, there's of course the competitive differentiation. So we are prioritizing markets where there's a lot of competition. And so this is just one other way for folks to stand out. Whether it's, one industry is the office retail market. So if you are a office management company and you can show to anybody who might be considering your building versus another that any building that my company manages, we offer a renewable energy feature that's baked into our tenant portal. Or imagine if you're an EV charge point company or an EV manufacturer, you guarantee or you offer a renewable energy charge solution as part of why they should buy your car, use your charge point. We think that does matter and resonate in these particular industries that we're targeting.
You think it does, or customers have told you that it does?
Well, customers have told us, which is why we think.
Okay.
Good question.
Any last questions on your side, Gabriel?
No,
I think that covers it as well from my side. Thanks, Doug, for
Thank you.
presenting. Really appreciate you coming on. And while we're in the energy space, why not keep it in the energy space? Sol, Yash, do you want to? I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. Solnce Energy, basically trying to push the solar platform forward and solar energy.
Correct. Very much correct.
You got to work on that name a little bit.
Yeah. So Solance means sun, it's itself. Solance means solar energy.
Awesome. We got your presentation up. Your 5 minutes starts now. Take it away.
Okay. So Solnce Energy is a renewable energy company focusing on the sustainable development goals given by the United Nations. So we are accelerating the adoption of solar through one-stop solar platform. Solar energy market in India is growing rapidly because of the government incentive, falling cost of the products, and technological advancement. So here, government of India have a target of 280 gigawatt by the year of 2030. So currently we are sitting at 72 gigawatt. So there is like we need to make a 3x jump from this to reach our target. So there is a huge potential and huge governmental policies are coming in, and all the investment is are going into the solar sector, and government is already pushing to the target and incentivizing the commercial and residential user with help of subsidies and capital incentives and interest incentives. So basically, anybody, any homeowner or any industry owner want to go solar. So it is very much difficult for them to go solar because they are non-tech people. They don't know how to get solar thing installed because they don't know the how much solar system they need to install, which vendor is right for them, because there in a solar industry there are multiple sort of solar installers from megawatt scale ground mounted projects to residential projects. So they don't know the who is the right fit for them for solar installation project, and people who on ground give the quotation give as per their understanding. So there is no fixed system they give quotation for. So they will get a quotation for 90,000 rupees for 3.3, 3.2, 3.8 or something like that. So with Solnce, what happened is we streamline the requirement of the customer by the consultancy one-on-one, and we float the tender document to the all the solar installers who fit into the customer's requirement. And on our online platform, there is a reverse auction happening because India have a very price sensitive market. So because of the reverse auction, 10 to 15% project cost get reduced, and a customer get the best price in the solar system. So they can easily go solar, and we also provide the help with the loan, because 90% of the customers take the loan for the solar install because it's a capital intensive installation, and we do the QC at the each step. And because of the project management is done in the application itself, the customer can easily able to track the whole process of the solar installation in their application itself. And we install the solar system within the 45 days of the starting. So we have streamlined the whole solar installation process and articulate in a way that customer thinks that it's very much easy to go solar. They just need to tap on our application and choose the things. So that's way, we are making their solar journey easy and reliable. So for customer, Solnce means trust and transparency. So we have built a one-stop solar platform in on one roof. They get all the solar related service like cleaning and maintenance, solar loan, procurement, support, project management, solar insurance, and in the one stop only. We are a solar platform, so we have a many EPC companies on other hand like bidding for the projects. So these EPC companies are paying a subscription fee for to stay on on our platform or get the potential lead, because any leads we float to the EPC company is a potential lead. They just need to give the right rate to the customer, and customer is ready to go solar. Okay, and all the documentation process is also taken by us. So on a platform, like we means trust and transparency to customer, and on a more business to the vendors, solar EPC companies. So our major source of revenues, we take like 8 to 10% success fee of on every project which get installed on our platform. We take subscription fee from the vendors, solar installers. So solar installers pay subscription fee to get like converted lead or more potential lead. They just need to
1
give
minute
the
warning.
sorry. Okay, and we have some auxiliary revenue as well. So till now we have done like 40 CR in revenue. Uh, so we have completed 200 plus projects, 180 plus customer have been served, like 5.5 tons of CO2 emission has been reduced, and 310 trees has been reduced from the saved from the deforestation. So we want to scale this platform as we are into the Gujarat, one of the state of this India. We want to scale this to whole India because it's a very big market and huge potential is there. We will establish a local network over there, and after local network, we'll spend on the marketing to get the customer on board on a platform. So this is our core team. We are innovative engineers, and like we have a sustainability at heart. Like we want to make the world a better place by doing solarization through the process. And some of the investors are the solar manufacturer.
And time is up. What are you guys looking for?
So we are looking for currently $3 million funding to scale this platform to whole India and invest into the technology as well as the marketing.
3 million is a lot. What kind of traction do you guys have so far while I bring Gabriel back in?
So we have till now in terms of 28 year, in terms of dollar, we have $3.5 million revenue through our platform.
Are you raising 3 million rupees or 3 million USD?
3 million USD. So we have already 3.5 million a dollar revenue through the platform itself from the one location itself. So we want to establish in the 8 locations, where the manufacturing plants are set already established. So the we can solarize their MSME systems, and we can make more revenue over there. And this is a platform only, so it is easily scalable. So it is very much asset light.
Okay. And you take 8 to 10%, you said?
So we take like 10%. Yeah.
Okay. And feel free to jump in whenever you want, Gabriel.
I guess I'd love to see some more traction, see where you're like, who's buying and why? What's the excitement that they're seeing relative to other competitors?
So basically, Safe Earth is one of the competitor who is doing solarization in India. Safe Earth, and if you have seen the model of like Pick My Solar, Energy Sage, so they are platform only, and they are very much successful in the US market. But in Indian market, there is no go-to platform for solar installation. Correct. So and everybody want competitive price in the industry, but because of the reverse auction, which our platform is USPs of our platform, they will get the best rate out of the market. And so there is a very much price discrepancy. Like if you want a Tata panel installed in your home in a Indian city, so Tata have a 9 distributors of within the same city, and this 9 distributor will give you the different rate of same system. So customers get very much confused. What is the right rate of this system? So if they come to our platform, we'll do the reverse auction in those distributor only. In this, and because of the reverse auction, 10 to 15% cost get reduced, and they get the best price. Like customers get the best price. So that's why we get all the most of the lead through referrals only, because of people are getting benefit of out of our platform. And on other end, like distributors are getting the short business on our platform.
Are they saving
just to
that
make
much?
sure I'm hearing you.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Well, I was just curious.
10% cut.
Yeah, go for it, Matt.
Yeah, if you're taking a 10% cut and they're saving 10 to 15%, are they really saving that much?
Yeah, so basically what happened is we are tracking first quotation, whatever they are having is very much used, because there is no MRP like system in solar industry. There is no maximum retail price or something. So everybody is quoting as per their understanding. So what we are doing is we are making the requirement of the customer, because customer is non-tech person. So they don't know how much kilowatt, how much wire, how much steel will consume in their project. Correct. So what we are doing is, first of all, we'll making the POQ, or requirement document, where all the components, the technical specification of the component as well as the quantity of the component is specified. So all the installers now giving the quotation from the same document or same requirement. So it is an apple to apple comparison for the consumer. And secondly, because of this apple to apple comparison and the competitiveness, like everybody can see each other price. So if anybody is quoted $10, everybody can see the $10 price has been quoted. If they want to win the order, they need to reduce the price. Correct. So because of this kind of a competition, because everybody is playing the game to win the game. Correct. So everybody is bidding in terms of winning only. So they reduce their margins to some extent, and we make sure that they are not making loss. So there is a a term called bounce. After some rates have been quoted on the platform, it bounce off. So we make sure that they are not making loss.
So I guess just to clarify, to me, it sounds like this is all about the savings that the customer can get. You take a cut, but it's also kind of a race to who can cut the most. So from a competitive perspective, what I thought I was hearing you say was there was a trust issue, but it doesn't sound like that's meaning as a customer or potential customer, I don't know who to trust. There's a lot of option,
Correct.
but that's not where you went with it. It sounds like for you, it's much more about like they can save money. But if it's a save money thing, then it's a race to the bottom, right? In terms of you and competitors, you're all trying to just get the lowest margins possible so that you can get the best savings back to the customer, which is what incents them to buy. Is that correct? Or is there a piece of this where it's about trust?
So it is about trust also. Reason being, like, no, we give the second layer of guarantee. So like our teams are engineers. Like, we have a lot of EPCs onboarded on our platform. So if one EPC is go in the middle of the work, or like went off in middle of the work, so customer can't do anything. Correct. So like if they buy from our platform, we make sure that their project get completed in the given time frame only. Okay, so they have a second layer of the second layer of the safety. If they are coming on our platform, so we make sure that anyway they'll complete their project within the given timeline. Correct. So, and we give them hand-to-hand support in terms of loans and like cleaning maintenance stuff also, because like EPC companies have the expertise in the one segment only. But as a customer, you want the whole package, like from starting from the loan to the service, after sale service also. And you need a one point of contact only. You don't need five agencies working for you, and you need to manage the thing different on a different platform or different way. Correct. So as a customer, it is very much easy to contact us, and we provide them one-stop solution in whole process. And we also make sure the QC happens by reason being customer doesn't know the technicalities of product also. They don't know 2.5 square mm also exists and 4 square mm wire also exists, and they both have the same manufacturer. So what we do is we have made the tender document, so we have the put the set specification on the customer behalf. So we make sure that all the things are transparent enough that customer will get the certification of all the every step of QC. So we provide first of all trust to them, and secondly it is like cherry on top. Like rates are also basically very much lower, and without we are giving deep discounting. So we are not giving, we are profitable, so we are not giving discounting by ourselves. The vendor is reducing margin by themselves, like willingly.
Great.
Yeah, it seems like a tough one. It seems like a bit of a race to the bottom in terms of what you can do there, or needing to find additional ways to add value or monetization. Because if it is very price centric, then the platform that comes in that also aggregates all of the installers, that charges 7% and then 6% and then 5% and then 4%, they're always cheaper until they're dead. So it's complicated. How do you solve that problem?
So basically, win-win condition should happen in terms of all three stakeholders, majorly customer, like us, being a platform, we need to also sustain, and secondly, vendor. So if the profit margin is 10% or something like that, so we get up to 4%, and the EPC player who is actually working on the client's project should get 60%. Correct. Like 40, if it is at 6%, if it is 10%, then. So we take it to the equation of the all the thing. And secondly, if the 10% margin is the market margin, so if any projects is closing on our platform, should be lower than that. And the ratio should be same, 40% to us and 60% to them. And basically, EPC companies in India doesn't have the technical knowledge. Many the technical things are left. So what we do is we do the value addition in terms of engineering and procurement. And construction plant, which is a very much labor incentive, it is outsourced by them, and they are very much they have expertise in that, because they know how to reduce the material wastage, and they know how to reduce the transportation cost. They transport all the thing in at once only. So that kind of optimization, they are very much pro in that. So, and we are very much pro in that, like, which is a engineering and procurement. Because if we are as a platform, we procure with the directly from the manufacturer, and because of the economy of scale, like we get the better rates than them if they go and procure the things, because we have a huge quantum. So in that, like, we have kept ourselves to engineering and procurement only, and construction has been outsourced, and we have, like, solved the pricing thing as like they are incentivized because they are getting profit out of it. And secondly, there is a competition, like huge, like, cutthroat competition in the solar market, correct, right now, because there is multiple EPC companies, and we are giving the assure business. So they are not actually, like, if bidding on a bidding platform, once we there is a 90% ratio, like that customer get converted, because
Hmm.
it's not only pricing, it's also, like, we the trust which we have developed through the platform.
I get it. I still think you need to work on it because I think another platform could come in and build the same and then charge 9 and 8%. But either way, thanks for presenting, Yash. I think it's interesting. India, it's an enormous market. There's so much
Correct,
opportunity there. Maybe the competition's not so important as long as you figure out the execution side. But thanks
correct,
for
correct.
presenting.
Thank you.
Before we hand things over to our next presenter of the night, I just want to let you guys know we have Climate Techies events in 34 cities globally: New York, London, Paris, Singapore, Shanghai, you name it. You can check us out, find other folks in your network and other folks in your city to connect with, network, and work together and figure out ways to help each other forward. More details at climatetechies.com. And now let's get on with the program with Q. Q is doing something interesting in EV charging with PlugZen. You want to take things over and share?
Yes, thank you. I am going to share my screen. Give me a second as I get everything ready. Okay, here we are on my screen. Okay, here we go.
Looking good. Take it away.
All right. Hi, I'm Q Johnson, founder and president of PlugZen, an EV charging company, and our goal is to put the EV in everybody. World leaders have agreed that global warming is a catastrophic threat to life as we know it. Internal combustion engines contribute up to 29% of greenhouse gases, which cause global warming. For this reason, electric vehicles are a critical solution, but consumers today are hesitant to adopt electric vehicles because there aren't enough places to charge them, especially for consumers that aren't homeowners. PlugZen will meet this demand with our patent-pending modular multi-vehicle charging platform, which can charge for 10 vehicles on a single circuit. It consists of one hub, as you see in the center, and 4 satellites, which all easily connect to each other. Each module can charge 2 vehicles through removable charging devices, which can be either charging cables like the Tesla or the ones that the US uses, or inductive charging pads like ones you see in your wireless phones. Or it can be both. You could have cable and wireless on the same charging module. This modular configuration allows us to significantly reduce downtime and maintenance costs. Our competition has currently dual charging stations, which all have to be independently installed. They're self-contained and they're on proprietary networks. And this results in high equipment costs, high installation costs, high operating costs, and high maintenance costs. Our competitors are the industry leaders, and while they do have a market presence and brand recognition, they aren't modular, which means they aren't easily expandable. They only have charging cables. They aren't easily repaired or upgraded, and they cost much more when you scale up to 10 vehicles, as you can see the cost comparison. Ours is more than half less than our competition. And many of our competitors won't even sell their stations without a subscription plan, which means that after installation, every station has a monthly subscription fee, which has to be paid by property owners, whether the station is being used or not. And that's what sets us apart. Our modular unit configuration which allows us to keep our equipment, installation, operation, and maintenance costs significantly lower, while our international patents will prevent our competition from copying us and outperforming us. And here's where you see the difference in our system, their system, and what costs it reduces. Our primary customers will be the largest stakeholders of EV transition, which is the automakers and utility companies, allowing them to sell more vehicles and energy motivates them not only to buy our stations internally for their own internal operations, but also champion our stations externally to their customers. Our secondary customers are business owners and property owners that have their own specific set of priorities in reaching their customers. And these customers include fleet operators and government agencies. The ability to get so much more for less will drive our customers to choose us over our competition. In this highly competitive environment, where high costs are one of the biggest obstacles for stakeholders, no one wants to pay twice as much for less. We will deliver the best price and value to our customers. Initially, we will sell our systems at a 35% profit margin, but once we've established ourselves in the market, we'll introduce recurring revenue models such as subscription-based services and platform licensing. We've been order-boarded into Ford Supplier Diversity Program and Amazon's Black Business Incubator, and we have a working prototype which we've been using to perform live demos. We are nearing the end of our R&D phase and are now developing our design prototype, which will need to be UL certified before we can begin production, which we anticipate will take approximately 6 months.
1 minute warning.
Using a modest projection of capturing less than 1% of the U.S. market share, we will yield a net profit over $147 billion in 5 years. With the right partnerships, we'll be able to capture more than 1% of the global market share, close to 10%. We currently have a small, large team, which consists of myself and a few key individuals. Together, we have over 75 years in the automotive and aerospace industry. In this round, we're raising $2 million to expand our team, complete the design prototype, launch the proof of concept, and UL certification. We anticipate production in the third quarter of this year, at which time we'll pursue our Series A round. So, are you ready to disrupt the EV charging industry? This is the ground floor. All roads lead to EV charging. The EV train is about to leave the station. Don't miss it. Join us in putting the EV in everybody.
Okay, let me bring Gabriel back in here. 2 quick things. A, pro tip, I would normally not have your text there so you know what they're going to say ahead of time. B, what's the IP actually look like? Where's the IP from? What's the background?
International IP. We have a PCT in several countries. As a matter of fact, we're in the final stages of getting
But how'd you develop the technology? I mean,
I'm an engineer. I spent several years at Ford Motor Company. I developed myself, and I put the patent applications in myself.
So I digging that a little further, you said you put patent applications in. What's the status of those? And I'm curious, there are lots of things happening right now in the EV market. This looks like I've seen some similar things. I think this idea is a good idea, but I'm curious, what pieces do you actually own or provisionally own or
right now?
Whatever.
I own the modular configuration and removable charging devices. It's ideal, and we have a patent application in Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and North America and South America.
Got it. And so to be sure that I'm clear, your approach, the uniqueness of it is you still have to do trenching, you still have to do all the normal things that you do for installing charging. However, you've got this main box which connects to the sub boxes, and that bridge or that splitter, that is your core IP, right?
Yeah, that's the core IP. The modular, the 1 hub and the 4 satellites was able to charge 10 vehicles on a single circuit. Like I said, our competition has to be independently installed. I'm sorry, I didn't know that you saw the text. I'm still
all good.
figuring this out. Yeah, sorry.
All
but
good.
yes, our 1 hub and 4 satellites is unique to the market. There is no system on the market like it. As a matter of fact, just last year, a competitor in Ireland has a similar system with DC fast charging, but they're the closest. And we do have a patent. Our application is in this area, so if we get it granted, they'll be in trouble, because I did talk to the founder, and they started a year after we put our patent application in. So they're the closest right now.
And talk to me about unit economics. I mean, if I'm going to install individuals versus your main box with splitter, how is that cost difference?
Well, right now, each of your independent install stations, the equipment and services cost $2,000. It's going to cost about $5,000 to install it. So that's $7,000 for one dual station. If you want 5 dual stations, you're looking at $35,000. My first station costs about $2,000 and about $2,000 to install it, and the other one's plug and play into it. So the initial cost of that $4,000, and then you just buy the other station for $1,000. You can have any maintenance person plug them in. It doesn't have to be professionally installed. So our equipment cost is about $8,000. We expect the installation cost to be about $4,000 complete. So you install 10 units, you can charge 10 units for $12,000 versus 10 units for $35,000. And then it has the removable charging devices where if one of the charging devices go down, it can be easy to remove and replace rather than the whole station going down. And if we work with the right partners, that station can be back up within the hour. With the right warehousing and the right distribution partners, we could have those replacement modules within an hour from where that station is, and they can be replaced really quickly. So that's how we decrease our downtime.
And how do you go from, it sounds like, idea to production? How do you scale this?
Right.
And what TRL are you at? To add to that, what TRL are you at?
I don't know what TRL means.
Okay. Technology readiness level.
Okay. Okay. Right now we have a working prototype and we're getting ready to finish our design prototype. Our biggest hurdle right now is access to capital. We have a company that's set to finish the design prototype and to send it to UR certification, and that's where we are now. But we do have a concept prototype, which we're using for live demos, and it works. So with the capital, we'll finish the design prototype and we send that to for UL certification.
What are the biggest weaknesses or lacking on your team? What do you need to hire for?
Right now, I need to hire engineering as we start scaling up the design prototype, and manufacturing engineering, as we have a contract manufacturer that we're working with to do the manufacturing. But most of our hires will be manufacturing. Will be engineering, either design engineering or manufacturing engineering. We do have Gen 2 and Gen 3 products. They're on the back burner. So once we bring our engineering team on, we're going to start working on those other modules.
So does that mean you're going the route of build your own brand and market and sell the products versus licensing and IP?
Well, we are going to license an IP. We once we built the platform out with these other products, and there's some really exciting changes that are coming to the products, like vehicle to grid charging, battery management, and things of that nature. Once we get past those stages, we'll be able to license the platform. But we'll spend the first few years getting everything into the marketplace.
What's the biggest risk you see in the business then?
The biggest risk for us right now is competition. Our competition is better funded, but like I said, we do have the patent application in, and there really isn't anything like this in the system. So timing is killing us. We hope we raised $450,000 so far, but we hope to raise the $2 million by now and then be in production. But we want to be in production by now. We do have a few pilots set up, but access to capital, we're in the Midwest. Hardware and climate tech is not really big on everybody's radar.
You're in Detroit though. What about hitting up Ford, etc., CVCs and other players in the space?
Ford we are working with Ford. We're on the Blue Forward Black Business Incubator. Ford wants us to see us meet some of the milestones, like the UL certification. They were the ones that attended our first live demo, and they saw that it worked, but they want to see us meet some of the milestones. The real question is, can we do it? It works, but can we do it? Do we have the right people? Are we in the right space?
What do you do if this fails?
All of my eggs are in this basket.
Good answer.
I left Ford for this.
Good answer. It's a trick question.
I've got one last question. Any signed letters of intent or MOUs to purchase or use these yet?
I just have I was awarded a pilot in Vermont, but that's when I'm aggressively going after this year, signed letters of intent. Everybody wants to wait till US certification and getting past that hurdle. And I heard I'll get the signed letter of intent. I'll even get some upfront money after I get the US certification, but that's my next hurdle, US certification.
Got it. Sounds like you got the focus. That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then thanks for presenting, Q, from one transit tech to the next. Now we're going robotic drones for farming. Murat, you want to come in and share Droneqube?
Of course. Do you see my screen now?
Working on it. There we go. We got your screen.
Perfect. Well, hello everyone. My name is Murat Merdin. I am the CEO and co-founder of Droneqube. With over a decade of experience in robotics and numerous projects under our belts, we created an autonomous platform that enhances and safeguards vineyard yields, tackling climate and workforce challenges. As you know, global warming is hitting everywhere, and 2 degrees Celsius rise threatens more than half of vineyards in the world, translating to $1 trillion loss. And concurrently, aging workforce is accelerating the labor costs, if you ever find them, and the cost project to hit 50 billion by 2050. And when you add the harmful residues on our foods, the pressing need for agricultural technology, and which is also emphasized in the Green Deal mandate, by the way, and this could easily turn into a $500 million problem. So our solution is giving them an agri-data archive for climate adaptive viticulture. This leverages advanced drones, and they capture and record vegetation indices and thermal data, providing a comprehensive view of vineyard conditions, supporting to climate adaptation strategies. And the second solution that we do, you can see the video in the middle screen in the middle, the 3D virtual vineyard and AI anomaly detection platform that we do. And by the way, this is an actual video from the POC customer. We recorded that data, and we use AI to detect anomalies earlier. And finally, the third solution that we provide is the smart spraying and autonomous refill system, which efficiently approach for applying and tracking agrochemicals in vineyards, and also getting into account the difficult terrains in this domain. And here is how we don't need to labor on the ground. So drones take off autonomously. They do precision spraying. They go back when they need pit stop, basically, either swapping the batteries or refilling the tanks with agrochemicals. Hence, it gives us the traceability throughout the process. And now you see our MVP in this video. It's an industrial robot, deftly changing batteries, refilling the tanks, and changing the mission loads if necessary. And this is at TRL5. We completed the robot Solnce Energy. And one of the other technologies that we have here is the precision photo alignment engine and early problem detection thanks to it. You know, the vineyards, all the shapes and terrains are changing, so it's really hard to get a net picture. So that's an important technology. And in this impact slide, we try to show the big problem here. It's since the global warming heating everything, the good vineyards now are gonna be not good in a close time frame, and giving them a data service where they can look at the best wines they produced in the past. So this would be our best impact. But using the drones precisely also gives ability to moderate the use of fertilizers or other plant protection products, and eventually it saves a lot. And once you detect the diseases, you also reduce the food loss. So it's a win-win-win situation. And our business model is simple. We sell different levels of ducts. The basic duct takes only the photos,
1 minute warning.
thermal images, and we also have subscriptions in all of the options. And as you can imagine, the market is huge, but we specifically target vineyards for their purchasing power and keen on technology. And we have graduated several accelerators recently, the most important one, the UK's Climate Finance Accelerator. And we deployed our first duct in our POC customer last month. And in the competitive advantage, we provide end-to-end autonomy, and this is nothing to be found in the field. And as you know, all the organic label holders are listed in the website of these labels, and we can track them and do freemium reports to show them the benefits of switching to our products. So this is the customer acquisition strategy. And our team has been working on robotics more than a decade. So we are not a startup who doesn't know what they're doing. And we need 700K in 2024, and we will cover 200K by sales, and we need 500K.
And
I think
time is up.
Time, huh?
You are end of the time. Let me bring Gabriel back in. It looks like the other attendees have left, so you may be the winner by default. But Gabriel, let's jump into the questions here. One quick question I had for you just to kick things off. What's your why? How did you get into this? Why did you get into this personally?
This is an interesting story. You know, we do robotics, and Turkey is the biggest exporter of hazelnuts too in the world. So there was a municipality company who were trying to manage, sustain their hazelnut farms in all those terrains and difficult environments. And they tried drone spraying, and it was successful. And they asked the company, okay, give us this service and take care of this. But the company couldn't provide enough pilots nor drones. So they came to us, and we told them, okay, what we do basically is take the person out of the image and put a robot so that this can sustain. And this is how it started. But we turned to the vineyards because we are close to an area like the Naples Valley here in Izmir, Turkey. So we are leveraging the distance from them. But it turns out that they have the biggest risk of losing this most valuable thing that they grow for more than 100 years in some cases. So this is how we ended up.
How's it going?
It's going pretty great, especially in the last couple of weeks. We deployed the first duct to the customer, and we started collecting data. And unfortunately, Turkey had an epidemic on mildew disease on grapes, which is an important opportunity for us to collect data enormously in these problems. So next grape season, which starts around April, we will be ready to deploy all the technology, all the solutions that we mentioned, and it's pretty exciting.
How do you deal with the economic situation in Turkey right now being what it is?
Wow, that's the hardest question. All right, so this exchange rates are skyrocketing in Turkey, and there is some different approach in general economical disciplines. So in this environment, if you are doing the technology business, which is what we do, you're on the safe side. And if you're exporting your services to the other countries, you're good. So this is how we trying to stay alive, let's say. But the economy is huge. It's 85 million people of the country, and it's the 17th, 19th biggest economy in the world. So we will hopefully soon be better. in most cases.
You mentioned, you'd be able to fly over and monitor. You'd also be able to apply pesticides or fertilizers, which sounds like you're angling towards organic, though you didn't say that, though you said you could talk about certification reports. Are you able to also identify things like mildew and so forth from the air with these? And then I guess I'm tying back to the labor piece, because you tied to labor as one of the problems you're solving. But it seems like labor is still required for a lot of pieces of this. Is this additive enough that vineyards are willing to pay a significant amount for it, or is this more of a nice to have? Tell me a little bit.
Okay, so once we started, we thought that this variable spraying will cover some of the problems, and this makes an economical sense. But at the end, we look at the facts, and then it wasn't. But then we noticed this news. The people, the vineyard holders in Southern Europe now started buying vineyards from northern places. And one of them is the southeast of England. So the projected 1 Celsius degree rise make that place a better place to grow. So, they're doing this growing and getting the grapes and turning into wine. And, some parcels, some sections are better. And now with all the climate is changing, they don't know, they don't have a history, they don't have a backup. I mean, precisely, they have the satellite data though, but which is not enough. And they don't have any tools to navigate through this. So this is the most important feature that we give to them. And knowing these guys, they spend a lot of money on technological stuff like to squeeze the grape without like cracking the seeds and everything. So this technology makes sense to survive in the next decades if they're willing to sustain this. And this is on the economical part. It's not easy to turn into numbers, but we know that it's pretty important from all these facts. And but if you go down to the numbers, I don't want to say Turkey because like there were a lot of farmers who lost whole yield last year because of all this mild disease. But in other cases in Europe, there is a disease, and if it is detected, they uproot a certain diameter, like 500 miles, so that it doesn't spread. So these are heritage crops, so that we need to protect, and we need precision tools like automation or aviation sector to protect them, okay? Because these are the food that we're gonna eat. We are not gonna, if we are not gonna plan to like eat refrigerated in the near future. So I hope this 2 parts covered some part of the question, but on the labor part, there is this inspection issue to detect this disease, and there are a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of, but there are a certain number of very experienced people who can detect these just by seeing it. But if you consider the whole area, it's not feasible for anyone to like walk down and look at the leaves and decide if they have this disease or not. So it's practically, they cannot do this. So what they do, they look at the problematic areas with the experience they have, and they leave the rest by chance. And they are losing some yields every year just because of this. And when you go to the Far East, I mean, as you move to the east, the problem gets worse, and they use more chemicals to like cope with it. So on the labor side, this doesn't solve whole problem, but this enables for sustainable farming because they will be able to watch everything if they need to, and the AI will help them to like pinpoint the problems or pinpoint the anomalies in that sense. Because another problem that climate change makes, it creates new problems, new diseases, new pests that we need to tackle with. And we don't know how they grow, we don't know how they start, but with this technology, maybe we will have a tool to start coping with them. But in the hopefully in a couple of years, if we create enough data all around the world, then we are very confident that we can start guessing diseases before they happen. And this is already done by satellites in some field crops. What we are doing is like we are focusing this technology on the more precious crops.
Ag tech is notoriously slow and hard and painful and challenging to scale. How do you overcome that?
I mean, we haven't overcome that problem yet, Matt, but hopefully we will. This strategy is simple here. The organic label holders, for example, in California, they have like more than 2,500 vineyards who has that label, and they're all listed. You know the brands, and you can easily reach their coordinates, and we can use satellites, create rough reports to show them what their problems are. And if we sell enough, if we go sell, then we don't need finance, right? We can solve that issue. So one part of the strategy is try to reach more and more customer and make sales so that company self-sustains. But in the meantime, if we get our hands on a bigger capital, then we can expand our team, we can include more experts, and then we can grow faster. So this is about it. If we can find it yet because of all the shrinking VC investments or valuations lately, then we can do it in a slow pace. But we are determined anyway.
What's your plan to go to market then? Are you planning to try to actually acquire these farms on your own? Or are you planning to try to partner with other ag tech companies and providers? What's the game plan?
There are two sides of it, let's say. And one of them is tapping on the existing channels that all the big agrochemical companies have. But we are now converting that strategy a little bit more organic based or bio alternative solutions. And we are now in contact with a organization who is like a forum to all these organic material producers. So we plan to collaborate with them. But in the meantime, we also have this. I'm sorry about that. We also have this lists of people who export stuff. So I mean, grapes go all over the place, from Chile to USA, Turkey to another place, and it is easy to find targets if you like sharp focus down like us, because we are focusing grapes in vineyards and which turn into most cases in the fluids that people consume. So that sector is like, if you compare the planted area to the size of the market, the wines make like 10x, but the other crops like make 1 to 2x in most, like in the biggest examples like corn or soybeans. So this is a very good place to be like market-wise to start and do all of these. But all these channels hopefully help us to tap into those markets easily. And let me add this: this was a recent update. We became a member of agri-tech centers in UK. So they're already trying to make a 3D map of their farms, and there are a lot of farmers who are very interested in agricultural technology. So we will target those people first, and then we will go down to the more and more general farmers doing this commercial with really, really tight profits.
Awesome. Any last questions on your side then, Gabriel?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
I think that pretty much wrapped things up for me as well then. Murat, thanks for presenting. Seems interesting and important. Ag tech's a bitch. It's just really slow and painful sales process, but I hope you make it happen. Gabriel, now it's the last segment of the show. Looks like all these other startups left, so we can kind of call them lose. They lost the show anyways. But who would you vote for of the companies who've pitched? Who are the one or two that you're most interested in, and why?
Well, it's interesting. I thought Q's presentation, like the need for the splitter, and the idea that you could easily implement a variety of, up to 10 chargers if the costs he framed, I think it was 2,000 per unit and total install cost of 10,000, that would be truly interesting. It seems like there's a lot of work between here and there in terms of that becoming a live thing, but I was really intrigued by at least the theoretical version of it. Murat, obviously, seems like you've got a lot of traction, a lot going on right now, which is really interesting. So I guess, taking the easy way out, man, I'll go with I'll go with Murat, the only person left standing. But yeah, I really was intrigued by the approach on the EV charging. Just I think there's a lot of work to do between here and there.
Agreed. And the Zero Labs potentially interesting, but just a challenge of understanding how exactly they differentiate and sell that. But you know what? Early bird doesn't get the worm. The one who makes it through is the champion at the end. Murat, we will crown you all of the glory of being the climate startup of the night. Congratulations. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for tuning in, folks. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe bell on YouTube. You can unlock all of our free goodies and bonuses and climate VC databases and solutions databases, our meetups in 34 plus cities, online networking and calls, and basically anything that you could possibly need to help grow your business, grow your network at climatetechies.com. And if you want to present at an upcoming session, thestartuptank.com. We do this every first Monday, excluding this one because it would have been New Year's Eve, and let's face it, probably half of you were hangover as it is. So I hope you all had a great holiday, New Year's, and we will see you guys again in February. Talk to you soon. And where can people find you? And what's the last word for you, Gabriel?
Find me an Elemental Accelerator and can be found on LinkedIn under my name. And great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks, folks. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you guys all again soon. Cheers.